I have to say that because I'm on now.
Ah!
But on your next one, you might say that about the next person, and that's fine. Vision Dental Partners, and I've been in the company for over 12 years now. Excited to be here, and
I know, Mikhail. Well,
the doctors are, are on board because that's what they want. They want the support. We're not only we're gonna make them that superstar, that legend in their area, because we're gonna market them. We're gonna update their websites. It's gonna be all about that doctor and that team, so that people will automatically like you before they even come into the office, just based off of social media. But I recently had a practice manager retreat, so I always have a leadership retreat every quarter, and we just had ours last month. And that's one of the things I asked them, who has been your mentor or just anyone in general in your leadership journey? Y'all work together as a team, you win and you lose as a team. The only way you're going to be successful is if you all come together. People don't want to work in an environment where there's no growth.
Have you ever fallen in love with Dr. Hughes?
Fallen in love with him?
Yeah.
God, he's like my brother. I feel like you might be in love with him.
Hello everyone, welcome to MMM Special. There's a VIP session between the three M's, and today we have the one and only Dr. OG with us. Dr. OG, you can introduce yourself to the guests.
There's no need for introduction. I think by now everybody knows.
I think I know you guys by now.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for this, man. I was just telling Mikhail, I was like, you know what? You got to come back because Mikhail has so much knowledge. And we're like, she's got to be a regular guest on this podcast for sure.
Yep.
So
I'm excited. Yay.
Yeah.
She's very fun. She's very fun.
I am fun.
Mikhail was... I think out of all of I know disrespect to the other guests, but I think we had the most amount of fun with Mikhail for sure.
I mean, you have to say that because I'm on now. But on your next one, you might say that about the next person, and that's fine.
Mikhail is going to go back listen to all our podcasts.
I am. Now I'm going to.
Oh, Mila, that trick didn't play for her. She knows.
I know.
Just block me. Block me off of YouTube and everything.
No, Mikhail, we're not gonna do that. Well, Mikhail, we're gonna let you introduce yourself at least so everybody else can get to know you again.
Yeah. Well, so I'm Mikhail Butler. I am the Director of Operations for Vision Dental Partners, and I've been in the company for over 12 years now. Excited to be here. And
I know, Mikhail. Well, Mikhail, I truly appreciate your support for hopping on here. I know it's
Absolutely.
Friday. You probably had a long week. And by the way, congrats for you guys to acquire your 9th practice.
Yeah,
congrats
thank you.
to Vision Dental Partner.
Yes.
I'm truly all for you guys, what you guys are doing in the industry. It's amazing what Dr. Brad is doing for the industry. I think that, the future is bright with his leadership. I think he's going to do a lot of amazing things. For any dentist that want to partner up, man, Vision Dental Partner is the way to go.
Exactly. Just call us.
Yes. Call.
Email me.
Call.
Email me, Mikhail at visiondentalpartners.com.
There you go. Go find Mikhail, man. They'll get into your practice and change the way you do things. Hey, why not? Yeah, man, I love it. I know that Dr. Brad is going to do some amazing things. You guys got an amazing team over there. So, and then we got a surprise guest coming up from your team on our podcast. We're not going to say anything.
I know who.
We're supposed to keep it a secret from Dr. Brad because we want to catch him off guard.
That works. That's fine. I won't tell him.
You were supposed not to tell him last time, but you did.
I didn't tell. Well, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to tell him that I was going to be on, but nobody told me until later.
I know. I was like, Mikhail, don't say anything.
Yeah.
Keep it a secret. Well, Mikhail, the reason I really think that the one thing that I love about, you is that, you're a director of operation for, a DSO, a small, big, whatever it is, but you guys are doing it the right way. And I really, truly enjoy that because I think that you can bring so much knowledge and understanding of the business side of dentistry. And that's something that I think me and you kind of talked about. And every person that we bring on our podcast and the platform that we're building, our goal is really to empower the dentists from the business perspective of it, with the perspective of dentistry, so that way they can be a leader in the industry. They can kind of take over the industry and be in more control of what they do. So the one thing I want to ask you is, what are some of the things that you see with the doctors that come on board with your organization? What are some of the challenges when it comes to the business of dentistry? Do you guys have to do a whole lot to train them and get them ready for that, to be a leader in the practice, to kind of avoid certain things? Or do you think they come in pretty prepared? Or do you guys feel like, man, we got to like hold their hand in some situation?
No, I mean, I think recently, because we've changed up the way we've done things and who we partner up with, recently with the, especially with our just most recent practice that we onboarded, the doctor was already on board. A lot of times the doctors are older, ready to retire, or at least retire in about maybe 7 to 10 years. We'll get a few years out of them, but they're just kind of exhausted on the, of the management side of team, like trying to, go out and recruit, and then they're having to pay attention to numbers and payroll and all that stuff. And I mean, finding that right fit, who's someone we can have like a small partnership with, because obviously, like with our company, we want to be doctor owned and doctor led. So we want our, doctors to have ownership in the company versus equity type thing, right? And the doctors are, are on board because that's what they want. They want the support. We're not only we're going to make them that superstar, that legend in their area, because we're going to market them. We're going to update their websites. It's going to be all about that doctor and that team, so that people will automatically like you before they even come into the office, just based off of social media. Dr. Hughes talks about this a lot. We're a media company that just happens to do dentistry. We want people to see what it's actually really like in real life to be in the dental space. And we're very transparent about who we are and what we do, and including with our potential acquisitions and doctors that we partner with. And I mean, you got to tell them everything, because they have to be comfortable coming on board. Like, the last thing you want is for them to feel like they were blindsided. And we're very transparent about everything. If we're going to partner up, here are the things that we're going to do for you. And then also you set the expectation and the tone from the beginning. And that doctor the office that we recently acquired, such a nice guy, a little bit older, is going to work for, at least 7 to 10 more years. The team is great. He has a front desk gal that's been there for 28 years. So obviously they like him. There's something about this guy that they love. And that's a big thing for us too, when we are speaking to our doctors. Maybe the team doesn't always know, but we get an idea of his team or their team and how long they've been there, and what type of personalities. And you kind of know, is this going to be a good culture fit? Will this be good for a new acquisition for us? We don't just go out there and buy and buy and buy. It takes time. Like, we're onboarding for quite a while. I don't do a ton when I go in right away. Obviously, we got our systems and processes and checklists, but my main objective is to build the relationships with them and to get them out of that scary spot that they're in, of the unknowing.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I think another doctor mentioned too, is like, you guys just kind of go in for the first 90 days, don't change anything, let things be, and then just kind of change it that way. And if you guys are going in and just kind of changing things, how do you position it so that the people don't get overwhelmed when they kind of
Yeah, I mean, we don't. That's the thing, is the main thing that I focus on is, and I have a checklist, I have a whole Excel spreadsheet of what that looks like, and what I do as soon as I go in. My main thing is I just make sure that we're charging out under a new, our provider number. So we create provider numbers, that type of thing. And it's just making sure that I get reports. I'm setting up dental intel with them, because we utilize dental intel. I love dental intel for the reporting side, patient communication, payment, all that stuff. Not that I'm trying to plug them, but I am. But we do utilize that for the reporting. And I really don't try to change a lot. I want them to get used to who we are. We have a Vision Dental Partners manual that has and I think I talked about this last time, We have, every department in it. And I will bring that in so they kind of get an idea when they start reading through it what we're about, what coaching that there's going to be and training there'll be in the future. But I let them just get used to who we are. We build relationships with them. So when the coaching and training does happen, they're not surprised because I've already led up to it and talked about it during that time. It's just about getting some of the systems and processes down, not all of them, and then slowly every month implementing like new things. Maybe I'm implementing a couple things a month. Just depends on what it is because people still have to learn it. Like I need them to master something before I move on to the next. Otherwise, they're just taking bits and pieces of coaching and training without actually understanding why and mastering that one thing, whether it's phone training or handoffs or whatever that looks like for them.
Mikhail, I have a quick question. Suppose that I have a dental practice here and you want to acquire me. How are you going to approach it? Like you firstly have conversation with me on a Zoom call. Then after that, you ask certain questions. And just another question on the side. What's the first impression that you usually get when you talk to a dentist and someone that's been working there for like 10 years? And you're like, sell it to us. How does he see you?
I'm not in the acquisition space. Mike is in the acquisition space. Dr. Hughes is in the acquisition space. They just talked to a doctor this week. They approach it. It depends on how they came about, right? Like we've got doctors reaching out to us on LinkedIn. There's doctors that maybe they come through a broker. Not usually. We try to get a lot of organic in that way. But I mean, we're open to, it doesn't really matter where the practice comes from. It's just the alignment. It just is the doctor on the same page. What are the conversations? Like Dr. Hughes can sell Vision Dental Partners like nobody's business, and any one of us can because we know what we're about. We know what we're looking for. We know what we can do for that, that practice or that business, whatever it is. But are they the right fit for us? So it's kind of like you're selling each other. Like I want to partner with you because these are things that I like, but then I want to partner with you because I feel like I can help you here and based off of what you need. Not everybody's going to be the right fit. So the approach will be different every time. If someone's approaching us because so I'll give you an example. We've had this gone multiple different ways where people will approach us and they want to know like, hey, I've already met with like other DSOs and other companies and here's what they have to offer. But I feel like maybe there's a missing piece for what I want or whatever that is. I like what you guys have to say. I'm watching all your LinkedIn posts, Dr. Hughes. I like the transparency and things like that. It has to, it has to align, I guess is what I'm saying. It depends on what the doctor wants. Not every doctor wants that. Some doctors just want to go in and I just want to make the money and the numbers and I don't want to be any type of leader in the practice. I don't really want to be on social media. I don't want to be that guy or whatever. I just want to write my paychecks and I want to go. But when we approach and have that conversation, so let's say like I'm approaching you and saying, hey, I feel like we're in alignment. You're saying a lot of the same things we're saying. I'm watching your Facebook posts, like you're trying to, bring people in from the community into your practice. Maybe you're a little bit on LinkedIn, but most of the doctors are like on a lot of social media. Facebook is where a lot of doctors are. Some Instagram, I see that too, but most on Facebook, and the ones that are on Facebook are really trying to show their practice. They're posting pictures of, their team, things like that. Those are the ones that we like to partner up with because we're kind of on the same page already of being that like the legend in your area. We're going to build your brand up, just like Dr. Hughes has built his brand. And as a company, we're building our brand. We want to build that office's brand up as well. And we go in hard with social media and Google ads and all that stuff and get pictures of the doctors and get like little skits of them talking about maybe something personal or who they are, what they like to do on their free time, things like that. So people start to get to know who they are first, but not every doctor wants that. Not every acquisition wants that. So not every acquisition is going to work, but we have to approach it. This is who we are. This is what we want. Is that something you want? And do we align? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Oh,
totally.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't have the initial conversation, so it's hard for me to give you exactly what that looks like because I don't do that. Dr. Hughes is the master at that. He's great because, I mean, it's he knows what he's looking for, and like he can talk up our company because we're very transparent. Everybody can see who we are on LinkedIn and anywhere, right? Like I'm talking about what I do. He's talking about what he does on a high level. Jason, Mike, we're all on there. Lex, we're all like, this is who we are. This is what we do in each department, each area. And we have that data and that info to back it up.
Okay, that's one. But what has been the feedback? Like, what's the when did you acquire your very second practice? Like, besides the first one that you were working.
So the second one was in 2019, October of 2019, and that one was that was a whole learning thing because like I had no idea what I was doing. I knew, like, I helped Dr. Hughes grow, obviously, the one location that we had. We went from 1.5 to $3 million in a very short amount of time. And so that's when he was like, you want to help me grow this? I feel like, and obviously the conversation took years and years and years. He was sitting in his, best friend's kitchen talking about wanting to, grow a company, but the way we've done it, doctor owned, doctor led type thing. And how do we do that? And it was a conversation in the works for a long time. Even the name was a conversation in the works for a long time. And I love when he tells the story behind how we got the name Vision Dental Partners. Only he can tell it like he can tell it. That's for sure. But it took time to get there. I mean, I went in with, okay, here's what I did in this one location. Here, how I was able to do that. I over delivered and created value to patients, to the team members, to whatever that, whatever that needed to look like. And that was we still have that practice. I love it. We have a whole brand new team there. And we've had that team for a really long time. So since 2019, we've upgraded, updated, that type of thing. And we have an amazing doctor there now. I love him. He's like such, it took a while to get to where we knew what we were doing and knew what we wanted, but we didn't rush it. And I think that's why we've been able to be successful with the 9 that we have now, because we didn't rush it. We took the time to get our processes moving. I didn't know that I needed SOPs for stuff. I didn't know that I needed a manual or any of this stuff until I knew I needed it. Does that make sense? I was like, oh shit, I think I need a manual. How do I teach this at a high level? How do I teach this without having to be there all the time and coach in real time all the time? Like, and then we take on another acquisition. I'm doing this and this and that. What can I do so that I don't have to be there 24/7? SOPs, videos, all that stuff. But it took me a minute to learn. Like, we made some mistakes. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, we made some mistakes, but we were like, oh, probably could have done that better, or ooh, I guess if we'd have gotten there sooner, I could have retained that team member. And the culture wasn't going good in that office. How do we change that? How can I update and upgrade the culture? It's, we had a lot of L's before we had a lot of wins, a lot of W's.
And what has the feedback been so far? The one from 2019, like at least is the original doctor still working there, or did you replace him?
No, so when we bought that practice, the original doctor was actually selling it. He was moving away, so he wasn't going to work in it anyways. So we had to go and recruit another doctor there. Yeah. But I mean, that one, it was just, again, different model. It was like the second practice we bought. Didn't really know what we were really looking for quite yet. And then you start to create this avatar for what you want that practice to look like, what you want that doctor to look like. I mean, we have an avatar for what we want every team member to look like, and what we want them to be, just kind of what you're looking for. And we did eventually get there in that office. It just took a minute. And now it's easy. Now we're just like, We know exactly what we're looking for. We know exactly what kind of doctors and all that. So when we purchase an acquisition or we have to replace a doctor or add another one, we got that avatar already set for that area and what we're, coachable, that type of thing.
And I mean, what's the feedback been like from the doctors that were early on working on with you?
What, say that again?
The feedback, like, how are they liking it from 1 to 10?
From 1 to 10, how the doctor's liking it?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I mean, like 10. They have Dr. Hughes as their mentor. Dr. Hughes is like front and center with these doctors.
I was just trying to see how committed you are.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, like, you've seen Dr. Hughes. You guys have talked to him. You know that he's the same guy in front of our doctors that he is all over LinkedIn and everywhere. He's very transparent with them. And he's, we send our doctors to South Carolina to coach with him because they see him in real time. He's still in chair 4 days a week. He's working on getting out of the chair because we're always yelling at him for it. Get out of chair. But, at least 1 or 2 days a week. But then they get to see how he works in real life and how he, is with patients. And just like, he can turn it on like nobody's business. And I just told him this week too. I was like, without your head getting big, you are like the master when it comes to over delivering and creating value to the patients and his team, obviously. But man, you would never know if that guy was having a bad day as soon as he walks into a room with the patient. He immediately turns it on and finds something relational with that patient. If they just got back from vacation or he knew they were going on vacation somewhere, he finds something to talk to them about because it's very little dentistry. Like, you'll never hear him ever talk about a crown, like, ever. And it's all about that relationship with them. And that's what we teach our doctors. When you're doctor owned and doctor led, it's a very different model. And it's hard because you're hitting at the private practice feel where it's not about what we said or what we did, but how we made the patient feel.
Okay.
Well, Master, if you want us to find out how Vision Dental partners, let me apply for a job and I'll let you know.
Exactly. Come work for us. Why wouldn't you? It's a no-brainer.
I can get a life.
Quick question. If you had to choose one person in the whole world to look up to, would it be Dr. Hughes?
Would it be Dr. Hughes?
Yeah.
Why you put... No. Kidding. No, I think... And we just had this conversation not long ago, too, about...
Don't say Dr. Hughes because I'll jump out of my balcony.
No, here's what's funny. So I just recently had, and I'm glad that we, are having this conversation. But I recently had a practice manager retreat. So I always have a leadership retreat every quarter, and we just had ours last month. And that's one of the things I asked them, who has been your mentor or just anyone in general in your leadership journey, whether that's you've learned from your, your parents or grandparents or just someone else in your life. And it's funny because obviously I came up with some of them, but a lot of the girls said, Vision Dental Partners as a whole, because every single person that they could go to, whether it was me or Jason or Dr. Hughes, always had some way, there was always a support for them no matter what they were asking about. And we had like literally the same advice, for them because we're all on the same page. We're all rowing in the same boat, right? And it makes you feel good when your leadership team, who has a hard job, obviously, your practice managers, say that your company has mentored them the most in their leadership. And it doesn't have to be me or just Dr. Hughes. Like, we don't want it just to be us. We want to know that other people in the company are leading the team members and leading them in the right direction and coaching them as well. And I think that's huge when, without being, pushed to do so, they just said it. And it makes you feel really good. And it's like, it's humbling that you can have that effect on someone. And, it's funny when girls be like, when I grow up, I want to be just like you. And it's a woman who's older than me. And it's like, because she's like, your leadership style and the way you lead, and it's just the way you talk to people. You're very kind and professional. And Dr. Hughes is the same way. We can be very successful and coach and lead people because we're creating leaders here. We're trying to create the next generation of leaders. And we're not going to gatekeep what we know and what we've learned. But kindness and being professional with these girls it goes a long way. Dentistry is full of women. Y'all know that. There's you guys, but most of us, dentistry is full of a lot of women, and there's basically two sides of women. There's like the little catty side, and there's a side that they want everyone to win. And we're on the side, men and women in our company, we want everyone to win. And we want everyone to have that opportunity. We can gatekeep nothing.
I think that's sorry, Masood, didn't mean to cut you off, but like the one thing that I think I mentioned that this week, I was actually talking to an independent recruiter. She's my friend, and we were just kind of talking about. I was asking her on the phone this week. I was like, "What's the one thing that you're seeing in the industry that is kind of like challenging for the doctors, or the doctors coming back saying?" And she said the same thing that you're saying just now. It's like, he said, a lot of these companies, they just don't deliver on the promise when they hire these doctors. I can tell you right now, I work for DSOs that they're like, we'll do this, we'll do that. And you go in, you're like, well, I haven't seen anybody for the past 6 months. Like, where is all these people? So it's like a lot of these things that just like, I think that's what's unique about you guys, is like you mentioned, is like you guys are delivering on that promise. And I think that's so important for like the retention of your. I have walked away from, I didn't, maybe should have told you, but I have walked away from $100,000 sign-on bonus because of the fact that I'm like, we're just not clicking, dude. Like, the money is good, but like, we're just not, like, you guys are just talking, but like nothing is getting delivered. Like, you guys are just saying just to say things. But I'm in there 2 months out of my 2-year contract, and I'm like, you guys have under delivered and undervalued everything. And people see that right through that, you know what I mean? Like, because the times have changed. Like, we became so much more knowledgeable about things, and like the things that are available with the online, with the AI, with like even us doing this podcast, like these younger doctors that's coming out, they have so much more knowledge than when, Dr. Brad came out of school, because then where was YouTube? Where was podcast? Where was all these things, right? So people are more aware of like what's going on. So I think that's what's unique about you guys, is like, you guys, like you said, I think the key to it is like you guys are transparent about what you guys are doing. Why do you guys this is something that I'm so fascinated about. Like, I think I asked you this last time too. Why do you think that your organization is so like linked up that way? You think it's like because of Dr. Hughes, or is it because of like every individual knows what they need to do and you guys are just all on the same page? Because it's hard sometimes to like, because there's different people, different personality. Everybody wants to like, egos get involved. This gets involved. Like, but it seems like you guys are just like a train. It's like everything like kind of works. Like, why do you think that is? Like, I just really want to know, like, why do you think that is? Like, what are you guys doing that is different?
Because we set the tone and the expectation right away. You have to set the tone and expectation right away for who you're hiring. Right? And and it is because of Dr. Hughes. Obviously, this is his company, right? And he's, obviously trained me up into being that person too. But it honestly, like, even the easiest answer is like, we give a shit. You have to care about people, honestly, to be able to build the company that we're building. It's not just about what someone can do for me, but what can I do for you? Because we've noticed throughout this process that when you ask people that, and I'm talking to my practice managers, what can I do for you? I'm successful in return, because then I'm getting what I need out of them. But I'm not asking them that question is, I need this, I need this, I need that. Is, how can I help you be more successful? What can I do for you to reach your goals? Because when they reach theirs, I reach mine. But you have to set that expectation. Here's where we're at. Here's what we're going to do. This is, you got to tell them your non-negotiables. Every company's got their non-negotiables. and then let them go win.
That's amazing. Well,
Sure.
Masood, you always like to do those like role plays. You've been doing it the past like 2 podcasts. Now
Oh
I'm
my
allowed
God,
to
are we
do it.
role playing?
Ah! Not in that way, Mikhail.
I'm the master at role playing. I make my teams role play. That's the way you got to get it right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, no, Mikhail. The reason why I really like this is something I think I posted about it on my LinkedIn this week. Like, I got to a point with like my team members that when I got to that practice, they may not like hearing this, but whatever, I don't care. You walk into a new practice and you kind of like know right away within a few weeks, hey, like this team is not going to work out. Like the people are not going to work out. The attitude doesn't work out. And like I was telling my regional manager, I was like, hey, I don't think this team is the right thing for what I'm trying to accomplish. And I was keep getting resistant, like, oh, they were thinking it's me or like my approach or how I am and stuff like that. But now, after all these months, they're slowly getting to the same conclusion that, hey, like, it's not the doctor, it's the team that is the problem. So the one thing I want to really ask you is like, if I am a doctor that's working for you and I'm in the similar situation and the doctor calls you and says, hey, like, Mikhail, I don't think this team is working out. Like, what are some of the things that are you really asking? Are you saying like, are you judging that doctor or are you saying, okay, let me figure out why? Because like we as a doctor, I always I told my regional manager, I work with these people day in, day out. So I know their flaws. I know what they're doing. You're not here, so you don't see it. So, like, what are some of the things you would ask me? Let's say if you came in, what would you ask me? Say, hey, Dr. Oji, like, here's like what I think you're doing wrong, or what, like, do you try to like figure out if the doctor is the issue or if the team is the issue? How do you go about it? Like, what are some of the steps that you take rather than waiting like 7-8 months? The office struggles, the environment is toxic, people are toxic, side conversations are happening. And you see it and you know those things, but then it takes a long time for the people to get on the same page with the doctor and say, okay, like something is going on here.
So that's easy. Trust, but verify. So we take the approach, we listen to what everyone has to say, including our doctors, assistants, it doesn't matter who it is. But then I'm going to go and get my own data. So if I have a practice manager in that office, I don't know if the practice manager is the issue. Like, I have no idea, right? I mean, I'm going to get my own data on it. And I always tell my practice managers that anytime you have a team member that's coming and complaining about another one or whatever that is, or a doctor is coming and complaining about a team member, okay, thank you for that. I appreciate the feedback. Now I'm going to handle that. I'll get back to you with, what my solution is. And sometimes you do have to upgrade that team member and go, allow them to go win somewhere else. And maybe that's just not going to be for your, your company. But I'm always going to verify and I'm always going to get my own data. Because sometimes it doesn't matter whether you're a male or a female, we get into our feelings. And that day, that person's not working out because I'm in my feelings and I'm not having the best day. And I can give you a perfect example of that. We had a doctor who we had to sit down with and talk to because he just was struggling with his team, struggling with like everyone. The team was saying he was doing this and he was doing that. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to have to go in and watch. And it's funny because when I'm there, everybody acts so different. So then I just go, okay, so I got to trust my team. Just give me some data, give me some feedback on what's going on. So when I go in and talk to my doctor, he admits it. And then I go, well, what's going on though? Like, there's got to be a reason why we're struggling here, with the team, because you have some new team members and you're still having the issue. Is it them or... And it turns out he had some stuff going on in his personal life. You have to verify for yourself. You have to get the data. And as soon as he had some financial issues. And then Dr. Hughes was like, that's where I come into play. I can help him with that. Let me talk to him about that. He wants everyone to win and everyone to be wildly successful. And that is one big thing I respect about him so much, is that I don't care who it is. If someone is struggling financially in their personal life, that guy will get on a Zoom call or a phone call and call that team member, no matter who it is, and say, give it to me. I want to hear it, and then I'm going to help you. And it was a game changer for that doctor because he sat down with them, had the conversation, and it's been like he's been put up some great numbers. The mindset shifted. And I'll do the same thing with a hygienist, and I'll do the same thing with an assistant. But at the same, it's so funny that you said that too, because I just posted LinkedIn a little bit before we, got on this call, the power of a reset. I've been like banging my head against the wall because, you give opportunity, but sometimes it's not that the person isn't the right fit. Sometimes you just need like a little reset. Sometimes it's we got a little misaligned. Maybe there's just not clarity in the vision. So it's not a pass. Like I'm not giving them a pass for any of that behavior, right? But I want to let's do a reset. Let's regroup. Let's set some expectations maybe for the next 30 days. See where we're at. And then after 30 days, we'll reassess. It's not always they're not the right fit. Sometimes it's just we got a little bit off track. Make sense?
No, absolutely. Yeah. I think that's, I definitely agree because like the last, we did like the team building thing I did with them. And I told them, I was like, hey, like, do I have a good day every day? Absolutely not. I'm a human. My grandpa passed away. My dad had the accident. My mom had this. I'm like, I'm like, guys, I'm human. You know what I mean? Like can come in here and like, and not be on my best some days, and that's okay. But I'm gonna let you guys know about it. But then I'm like, even when you tell them that, you're like, man, that thing got worse.
Sometimes, yeah. It's funny. Dr. Hughes just talking about that today, too. He'll probably put something out, so he might be mad at me for even saying this. But he talked about the parking lot test. When you pull up into the parking lot and you see a particular car there, of a team member that you don't like or you're not getting along with, how do you feel? Does it immediately put you in that headspace where you're like, oh my God, I gotta go and work with this person all day today? That's when you start feeling that way, it's time to go. That person's got to go. Because the last thing we want is for team members to feel that way, including our doctors. I don't want my doctor to be going to, pull into the driveway and be like, dear God, Karen's here today. You know what I mean? No offense to Karen's or whatever names those are. No offense to Karen's at all. But, oh God, this person's here today, and then you got to squash it or you're going to have to release. Bottom line. But again, you got to get your own data. You have to verify. Trust, but verify. Everybody deserves to, have a platform to vent and listen to. Everyone, I don't care who it is, but then you got to go fix it. You can't sit on it. Because then you become that company that you just wanted to leave, because then there's like, I'm all talk, but then there's no action, and I'm allowing the culture to be bad and allowing toxic people and I'm not taking care of it, then I'm just full of crap.
Michael, is there, as you mentioned, like, is there something that you guys use to, I've seen this in other companies, to basically rate your employees? Like, the platform works like this. Like, every employee has a profile, and then other people go and give a rating to that employee. Like, from 1 to 10, this is how much I feel like. They give a comment, and then the management team looks at that and see what employee is really sorry to say it, but really an a-hole, and no one else likes to work with that employee. Do you have such a thing, or you just go with the, word of mouth?
Like a personality scorecard type thing, or just in general?
Just
like, are we going based off of, like, of course you would have a scorecard or something for every team member, right? One for like ROI, your KPIs, those important things. Culture obviously is a big deal. But I wouldn't say that we have a scorecard for like, okay, today you're being a B, tomorrow you're, whatever. I can't really go through the alphabet, but A, B, C, right, whatever, or like 1 through 10. The alphabet, we start talking about B and C's and D's.
Hey, Hey, Mikhail, now I really want to know. Can you please go through the alphabet from A to Z?
I think you guys know the words. It was kind of clever, but no, I wouldn't say that we have a scorecard for necessarily that personality, like for for that in particular. But we do have document, document, document. I tell my practice managers that all the time. When you have an issue with a team member, you got to document it, and they sign as well. We've talked about this already. We're kind of having an issue with this, or we're going to have an issue with that. But this is because they've already gotten their own data, not just like someone, Karen told me that you're being a B today and not an A, or you're being an A. I don't, you know what I mean? But that's why you gotta document everything. You gotta have that list. And I don't, it's gotta be fair too, because you don't want someone just continuously picking on someone for no reason. But like, are you a legit toxic team member? Are you talking good about the company? Are you talking bad about the company? What is the vibe like when you come into the office? Are you joining morning huddles? Are we being a team player? Whatever that is. Are you the type that's not my job kind of team member? We don't subscribe to that. Y'all work together as a team. You win and you lose as a team. The only way you're going to be successful is if you all come together. So, I think at some point each team member will have their own scorecard, right? And then the ones that stand out are going to stand out, and you're going to pat them on the back and we celebrate them anyways. In my offices, each of my practice managers keeps and it's out in the open. It's a wow book. So the wow book is anybody can write in it at any time. And it's just a small little celebrations of what maybe they saw that team member do that day, whether it was, it doesn't matter what it is, picking up a piece of paper or helping, the doctor, or going to sterilizing, or whatever that was, help answering the phone. But just that little acknowledgement and that celebration, and that appreciation. So you get a long way with that. You'll have less Karens when you have more celebrations. And you don't keep the toxic people around. You got to go in right away. Perfect example of that. This week, I had to do a complete reset, which is what I talked about, a little while ago, for an entire team. We had a new team member come in. She didn't quite help herself out with being late every day this week and so on and so forth. But then you kind of get mean girlish, and the girl's kind of, oh, she's not the right fit. She's not this and that. So I sat down with the girl. I was like, I'm going to go in. I'm just going to talk to her. I'm going to see where we're at, like what's going on. And in the end of our conversation, I liked her. She's a very strong assistant. I think she'd be great for that doctor who needs a strong assistant. And I just said, I'm bringing the entire team together over lunch. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to do a reset. And I had them hash it all out. Let's all get to know each other. And then in the end, everybody was laughing and talking and like coming together as a team, right? And that is an office that's all women. And sometimes you have to go in and do that. Do a complete reset and set the expectation. Here are my expectations moving forward. I don't want to hear side chatter. It's gossipy. It becomes very mean girlish. And then we become like, we got our own little, groups over here, and we got chats. We don't subscribe to that. We do not participate in that. If Dr. Hughes knew that like we had that type of like office, he would squash that in a second and be like, no, nobody wants to work in that environment. We're not in high school anymore. But sometimes you do have to go in and do an entire team reset and be like, let's get realigned with where we're at. Let's get some clarity and move forward. And I had to do that quick because that girl's a week into, working for us. Am I going to be able to keep her? Is she going to be a right fit? And I need to know right away, so that if not, then I'm going to have to go release her.
Mikhail, you said you're good at role playing, right?
Yeah. It depends on what you want to role play. Like, what are we talking about? Like, are we role playing phone calls? Like, what do you mean?
Let me break it up to you.
First of all,
we have a small company. It's me, you, and Milad. It's 3 M's. And basically, Milad, he's complaining about me. He doesn't like me. He says, I don't know. He comes to you and he's like, oh, Master thinks he's too funny, but he's too lame. He's always late to podcasts. I don't want him around. And now you want to sit down with me and have a conversation and decide whether you want to fire me or you want to keep me in the company. So let's have it.
It depends on our conversation. So when I sit down with you, I'm going to sit down. I mean, I'm obviously going to, before I sit down with you though, I'm going to verify all that information. I'm not just going to take that and go with it. So I'm going to watch you. I'm going to make sure that you're not being late to all the podcasts, that you're actually participating, all that, right? If you're not, I mean, like today was not a good example for you, which is fine. I was on time as the guest.
So you set yourself up for that one, bro.
You kind of did. So what I did was this. Hey, I actually just did this with one girl this week too, which is great. Hey, I've noticed that you've been late, lately to all of our meetings and things that are going on. I'm noticing that some of the tasks that have been given to you, they're not completed. And I just want to know what's going on. How can I help you arrive on time? Is there anything like personal you want to talk about? Sometimes people want to vent and, just like get some stuff off their chest. How can I help you get here in time for the meetings? Because you miss so much by not being present, even in the first 5 to 10 minutes. And I want to help you be able to get that information so it feels like you're a team player, because it really doesn't feel like it right now when you're kind of off doing your thing and we're all here, present, on time, ready to go. And it just kind of brings the vibe down. So what can I do for you?
Really?
Did you hear that, Masood? We were here, ready to go.
But also, like, what can I do for you? How can I help you?
So do you want me to actually just...
Yeah, we're role-playing now, man.
Oh, all right. I'm going to get fired. I mean, if I didn't see you again, it was good to know you.
I'm so busy.
Well, Mikhail, I already found Masood's replace. So if you want to get rid of him, that's fine. We got you.
Is that me?
No, Nicole, today actually I had a very special reason. I didn't want to open up to Milad because, we might not feel good about it. I was just getting a haircut, and because Milad can't get a haircut, so I just thought, I'll better hide it from him. So today was special, but the other days I really tried to make it on time. And whenever things happen, I try to always communicate that I'm going to be late. This is what's happening. I try to keep that communication in. And just try to make sure that, we all have lives. We all get things in the way. Work is just one thing and there are 10 other things that are going on in our lives. So it is not expected of me to be late, but if I am, I try to communicate and just make sure the problem, because, it's always a progress. Once you make that problem, you got to learn from it. And next time, make sure you don't have that problem happen to you. So that's just how I am. Does that answer it?
Yeah, you are going to get fired.
That's so hard about
that. Yeah.
Mikhail is like, I don't need to collect that much data, bro. You're fine.
Sounds like this is not that important to you because your life gets in the way. Your haircut could have been earlier. And then you're ragging on another team member because they can't get their haircut. It's just...
Masood, that sounds about right, man. I think it's time for you to end this podcast.
Sounds like we're not a priority, that you have other priorities in life. I didn't get the communication that you were getting the haircut. I didn't find out until you joined.
Mikhail, you're speaking. You know what? You definitely are in the right position. I'm gonna let you have it. I'm gonna let him have it.
I'm just gonna say now, I hope you were joking.
I'm not kidding, bro. Let him have it.
Ooh, that's funny.
No, we've been like, I always talk with Masood. I think the one thing that you mentioned, that's like, I think one time me and Masood were talking about this. I said, like you said, priorities. I think kind of knowing the priorities and what's important and what's not important. I think some people just don't have the understanding of that, of like, hey, like I always, I think me and Masood had this conversation one time. I said, hey, like, people are giving us their time. They don't have to, they're giving us their time. They come on the podcast. We got to make sure that we show up. And when we show up, we're showing up in a way that they know we value them so much. Because people are going to respect that, right? Like we wait, like we got on the podcast. We had the guest. He was an hour late to the podcast.
Ooh.
And no. It wasn't you. It was one of our guests that was late. But we were just like, we were waiting. You know who I'm talking about. But we waited it. We waited it for like an hour, right? Because like, it's even though like people are late, we want to respect their time. We want to make sure that they understand that we value that, and we're going to wait for them no matter what, right? But I'm like, I never want anybody to wait on me. I don't want to like, because I just want them to know that we value them more than anything.
I think it's a respect thing too.
It's a respect thing too, for sure.
Yeah,
and I think that's
it's a respect thing. Yeah.
I mean, everything that you talked about, Michael, is like so relatable to me, because like that's the situation that we are faced with in my office right now. It's like me and my office manager are like, no matter what we do, like no matter what I do as a leader in this practice, is like the toxicity is there, and it doesn't matter who you bring in, it's just going to be a chain effect of it. And
yeah,
I'm
if
like,
she's not aligned, then you're just going to have the chain, and you're going to get other team members there. You're going to get those silent quitters, the ones that don't want to work in an environment like that, and they're just going to quit, and you're going to be like, why did you quit? You were so great. And they're not always going to tell you. There are a lot of people that are very non-confrontational, and it's, I mean, I'd be like, if you've not already sat down and had a conversation with her, I would, and set the expectations. I mean, I don't know how much, pull you have where you're at or whatever. Or, I mean,
the thing is,
I wouldn't want to work with someone like that.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think that the challenge, like that's the other thing, is like when you work for like the bigger DSOs, everything is like, oh, we got to go through like 10 different things before we can fire somebody. I'm like, these people are costing your business money. Like they're costing. It's like, we can't do the same day start because they don't want to, or they, they don't put 6 filling at 4:00, but you don't go home till 5. The doctor, so like there's a lot of these kind of things. And I just got to a point where I'm just like, dude, like if you guys don't fix this, I will remove myself from the situation, because I'm I'm like, I'm not gonna, and I told him, I was like, I'm not gonna like waste my energy on it, because at that point it's not worth my energy, because it's not my office. I'm just the doctor. And, do I care for the success of that practice? Absolutely. It's my job to make sure that I'm doing what needs to be done. But at the same time, I'm not going to put my energy somewhere where like our vision with the people that are there is not aligned. And
that's how you lose doctors or good people that way, because they don't want to work with, they don't want to be in that environment. 100%. It's funny because, and I'm sure that this is with any business and any company, people don't want to work in an environment where there's no growth, where they don't have a voice, essentially like an opinion, type of thing, and people don't care about them. No growth opportunities. People don't care about me. I'm just like another number. No, people don't. The days where people are like, I'm just working because I get paid, $18 an hour or over. People want more than that. They want to know that you're going to invest in them. They want to know that you care about them. It's amazing we have this one practice manager, and we have multiples, obviously, but one gal who, if we hadn't sat down and had a conversation with her about her being late, I would have never known like how she would have grown into being such a great friggin' practice manager, and just how far she's come if I didn't give her that opportunity. If we as a company didn't give her that opportunity, it got to the point to where Dr. Hughes and Jason sat down with her. Hey, we like you, but man, you're just like consistently late. And she wasn't even a practice manager yet. But again, opportunity, believing in that person, them just hearing that you have so much potential and we want to give you an opportunity. And it's like that recess, that second chance. Let's regroup. How can we help you? And then like Desiree got on the phone and just started calling around she was having an issue finding childcare. Started calling around to all of the, daycare centers around the area just to find someone for her to help her get to work on time. That's what we do for our team members, because we care. We give a shit. That's going to be my next LinkedIn post. Here's why we give a shit.
Hey,
You might have to bleep that.
hey, that would be a good post to put on there. We give a shit.
Yeah, we give a shit.
That should be part of one of your guys' culture. We give a shit.
Yeah. And then the accidental rating of the A personality, the C's and the B's and the D's. Are you being a B today or a C or a D?
Hey, Master, we should make something with the AI that at the door when they check in, they can just put today the team member, Dr. OG is a B today. And it pops up in the front. Uh-oh. That's a
Just
good
so you know
idea.
what you're walking into. You only have 3 options.
Like everyone that's going home, they can literally just put an A or something in front of every other person's name, and then they can see it. It could be anonymous, but the next day they'll see it and they can see how they performed the last.
Hey, let's build something, Master. Let's think about it.
Don't steal my idea. Proof it's here. Don't bleep that part out.
Stealing ideas.
Yeah, just cut me in. Get a cut.
Mikael, we got it's so crazy. Me and Masood, we were like always talking. It's amazing to like have Masood like as part of my team because like he's so like always his mind is always thinking about like how to solve the next thing, how to do different things, and we always like talk about these things, and we're like, okay, let's do this. And he was just telling me, he's like, I just spoke to another doctor. He's like, let's make a robot. Like he can be a receptionist in the front and stuff.
Can you imagine?
I'm like, I don't know about this one, bro. But
I mean, yeah.
you never know. Maybe we'll come up with one.
Could have like the virtual check-ins.
I know.
Like when people come in, there's someone on the screen.
No, I know. No, but it was just a funny thing that Master was saying. I was like, hey, everything is possible. You never know. We can do so many things with technology.
Yep.
And we can do.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's crazy nowadays.
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, Mikael, I truly want to say thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I mean, I can't thank you enough. You have been. Yeah. You have been. We built such an amazing relationship together. Your willingness to come back for the second time. And listen, we don't bring people back. You're the first one that has been a repeated.
That's why Dr. Hughes is not back.
I'm saying, even think about it, man. We didn't even bring Dr. Hughes back. Yeah, we're like, no, we gotta bring Mikael back, man. We were telling Master, we were like, we gotta bring her back. We gotta like do something together, and then I'm sure we're gonna do a lot of great things together. I mean, you have so much knowledge,
I'm excited.
So much understanding, and
100%.
Yeah, and I was telling Master, I was telling Mikael about the platform we're building, and Mikael was like, I'm on. I was like, all right.
I'm in. Sure.
Yeah, man, I love
sure
that.
She doesn't steal it.
Huh?
Just make sure she doesn't steal an idea.
I don't have time to steal your idea.
Master,
I don't have time. I'll just jump on the bandwagon.
Listen, do you know, like you talk, it's so funny. I was just telling Mikael, I was like, it has been a nightmare of 7 months since we started this journey. It has been crazy, man. Like we've been like,
no thanks. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. And Mikael is like, you practice dentistry? I'm like, yeah, bro.
And that's doctor too. I mean, it's funny because I say that to Dr. Hughes all the time. Like, I don't know how you have time to do half the stuff you do when you're in chair 4 days a week too.
Yeah, well, I'm in chair some days 5 days, some days 6 days. I have to get on meeting with these guys. I have to do a podcast 2-3 times a week. I'm like,
it's that you got that drive.
Yeah, I just honestly, when I graduated dental school, I was telling Master too, like for me, the feeling that I had, honestly, like it always like hits home like really hard for me because I felt so isolated, man. Like I just felt like, man, I remember the night I used to drive like home when I was in Iowa, and I was like, what the hell is going on? Like what is this? Like I left dental school and I have nobody to turn to, and and I was just like, and every day for me, the motivation was like, hey man, like I need to do something to like make people feel like they're part of something. Because when we're in dental school, we're with like 500 to 600 to 1,000 other people in a school. So you feel like you're part of a community, you're part of something. And that's really when the idea of like DentMed came about, because I'm like, you got to build a community where people can turn into, that people can go talk to somebody, that people can, go and just have this conversation that we're having, like reach out to Mikhail, reach out to Dr. Hughes, reach out to these people to say, hey, like, what do I do here? Right.
Yeah.
And then we have so many, and that's what I was saying, I think on one of my LinkedIn posts is like, I'm like, we as dentists got to stop like competing against each other, and we got to start working together, because then we're going to be able to change the way we do things. And essentially like that's when the idea came about, that I'm like, we can bring all these doctors together, we can bring people together, we can do all these things, and you can change how people are doing business, you know what I mean? And then that young doctor that come out of dental school doesn't have to feel isolated, doesn't have to feel like, man, I'm left out, I don't have nobody to turn to,
I feel alone.
Dentistry is a very isolated word. It's not easy, it's very isolating. So if we can help hold somebody's hand in their journey and help them along the way, and I'm all up for it. I think that's what we're gonna do with DentMent, with the help of Mr. Masood. He's the brain. I'm just the
Masood for the win.
Masood 2028 for presidency.
If he shows up on time.
It really made me feel so bad. I feel like I'm actually in the fire.
You asked to role play. I did not ask to role play. Okay? I just told you that I'm good at
it. I think that's the sign that you gotta stop role playing, bro. You're burning him.
Yeah. Be careful what you wish for.
That's funny. Raquel, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, I look forward to do this again with you. We'll talk about it. We're gonna bring you on, do some webinars together. We're gonna do a whole lot of good things, and then you're gonna be in this journey. You're gonna be holding our hand, just like you're holding Dr. Hughes' hand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all me. It's all me. It's not him. He's tired of my shit. Okay, so he's tired of me. He's like, we're done.
I'm just so curious. Have you ever fallen in love with Dr. Hughes?
Fallen in love with him?
Yeah.
God, he's like my brother. I feel like you might be in love with him.
Mikhail, I think Masood wants to fall in love with you. He's just trying to figure it out.
He just wants to make sure I'm not in love. If you want to fall in love with Dr. Hughes, that is fine. I will let him know. But I don't think he goes that way.
No, I don't go that way either.
You're like,
So if you want to ask Mikhail if she's in love, just ask her directly, brother. You don't have to go ahead. I don't have to go about it that way.
Why are you asking about my boss? Gross.
No, Masood have a tendency that we brought another female doctor on, and Masood started to ask questions. I'm like, Masood, what are you doing? Are you hitting on this doctor, or are you just asking legitimate questions?
There's a really weird way to like somebody is asking them if they're in love with their boss.
Maybe.
Well, oh man, that's funny. That's
funny.
Well, Mikhail, you're coming to Tennessee, so hit me up when you're here. So definitely grab a dinner or something. You're coming out.
Yeah,
here,
absolutely. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, it will be fun. I'm in Nashville, so just hit me up. We'll go grab some sushi together or something. There's a really cool spot downtown Nashville called I Love Sushi. They have good sushi, so we can go up there.
Oh, nice. I like that. Yeah.
So hit me up. We'll go hang out. Well, Masood, you can't come, so sorry.
You guys are leaving me out the third time.
So sorry.
It's not gonna be fun.
You should hit up Dr. Hughes. Go hit him up. I'm sure his wife will be fine with it.
Masood, if you're gonna come out of the closet, bro, let me know so I can go hide somewhere. Just take me back to that R. Kelly song.
Oh my. No.
I'm out of the closet.
I could keep going, but I'm not. You're going to have to cut that out of the recording.
Oh
No.
God,
Stay
no.
away from the Diddy juice.
Oh God. I honestly, that is stuff is like, I'm gonna close this out, but that is stuff that man got charged with is mind blowing. The 1,000 baby oil, that blew my mind.
I'll
Bro,
never look at it the same way again.
every time I pass the baby bottle oils, I'm like looking at the
Like-
weird way.
Nope. I'm sure Johnson & Johnson loves that.
Well, their sales went up by 50%.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody wants it.
Everyone wants baby oil. They're like, what's the magic in this?
Yeah, exactly.
They're hiding gold, diamond. Well,
God.
Mikhail, thank you so much. I really appreciate
Absolutely.
it. You got to
It's
come
my
back.
pleasure.
I always love having you. And just remember, man, I'm shocked, master. Mikhail is very special. We brought it back the second time. So, hey, we'll now, to everybody listening, we're going to bring Mikhail back every month. We'll try if Mikhail is available. We want her to come back. She has so much knowledge of the business of dentistry. I love this. For the younger doctors, if you want to reach out to Dr. Hughes, Vision Dental Partner, find them on LinkedIn. They are an amazing, amazing team. I love everything that they're doing. Congrats to you guys for growing. I'm all for it. I'm all for you guys' growth. I'm always like, especially doctor-led, doctor everything. I love that. I think that's what our industry needs.
Yes, 100%.
I'm all for it. I'm all for dentists taking over, taking control of their industry and just really, really taking the ownership of what we work hard for and then create an opportunity for other doctors to come in. I think you guys are doing it the right way. So, hey,
thank you.
Hats off to Vision Dental Partners. All right, Mikhail. Thank you so much. Go Vision Dental Partners. All right.
Have a nice weekend.
Bye.
Thank you.
No worries.